Does fire make sense to you as a concept?
What, me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's combustion. It's just like any other energy thing, but faster.
That's what freaks me out about it. It's like you're watching matter being eaten by an elemental force and turned into another state of matter. Oh, hooey hooey. That was kind of a fun little Fermi paradox talk, wasn't it? Do dogs understand elevators, or are they just like, all right, time to enter the world changer? You can sense in an elevator that you're moving up and down. So I've got to imagine that dogs, they may not fully understand everything that's going on, but they got to understand, like, they're going up, they're going down. Especially if they go up and down the elevator a lot. You got to imagine they learn it. I'm getting heated reading the responses to Paul's tweets. Dude, I hadn't been to the subreddit for 3 or 4 days, and I went over there, and there's this huge Paul bad thread over there. But there's a lot of people in there defending me, too. So I liked that. There's a lot of people in there with half a fucking brain in their head. They're just like, these fucking, like, Biden equals better than Trump people are just fucking, and you can't escape them. It's fucking crazy listening to them. Like, there's a comment in there that's got like 50 upvotes, and it's somebody saying like, Paul has no solutions to anything, and all Paul does is bitch about problems, but he has no solution. I'm just like, motherfucker, dude. 50 upvotes? 50 upvotes? I know you can like manipulate upvotes and shit, but I mean, come on.
Is nothing sacred?
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Where is that dinosaur?
I don't know. Where did he go? Did he even come out here with us? Yeah, he did.
Oh, there you are. You're hiding behind Dad?
What are you hiding back here?
Why don't you get warmed by the fire?
Is it the thread with the muscly dude? I think it's like some meme about, I don't even know how it applies to me. But yeah, it's got like fucking like 84 upvotes and 70 some odd comments on it. It's just like, most of them are just people like, yup, Paul never fucking says anything. It's like, fuck. What am I doing flapping my gums? And it's not even like you can't even use the excuse of like, well, I don't watch Highdeology. Like, this shit comes out in flash fried every week. Oy vey.
But, it's to protect the bill. It's obviously coming back, right?
Yep.
No way that'd be swept under the rug.
Paul, why don't you have all the solutions yet, Paul? Come on, Paul. It's like that, except for it's like, oh, you don't have all the solutions? Well, then vote for Biden. It's like, what? Wait a minute. Huh? Say what? I don't know, man. Whatever. It is what it is. People say, like some people just insist on learning the hard way. They dig their fucking heels in, and they're going to be right, and they're going to find a reason to invalidate you or ignore you if you're spinning a narrative that's contrary to theirs. And then eventually, like, those people turn into me. They become me in 20 years. Love you, Paul. The vodka and blunt is flowing through me tonight. Oh, crossfading, huh? Just wanted to let you know you're an awesome guy. Be good to yourself. Well, thank you.
This fire is self-care.
Mm-hmm. It is. I feel good by a fire. Yeah, I've got to have the solution to all of humanity's problems. And if I don't, then clearly the solution is to continue participation in the same broken system that led us here to this point that we're all trying to scramble away from. Vosh hasn't tweeted a single word about Syria. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. I really honestly, like, I've gotten fully and completely sick. Whoa. There's a bambulance.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is it so quiet?
Because it doesn't need to have sirens on in the neighborhood.
Or is it someone that just works there and they're getting home?
No, it looks like they're flipping a fucking U because they missed their... Hopefully that doesn't cost somebody their lives. That's an that's an expensive turnaround. An ambulance with its lights on just drove up, flipped a bitch in somebody's driveway, and then drove back the way it came. Ruh-roh. It's a ghost ambulance, yeah.
It's a different car. It's not the ambulance.
Yeah, he's coming back again. Coming back around again.
Ambulances are a fucking ripoff.
Yeah. True that.
Unless you're like literally about to die and you don't have anyone to drive you, I probably wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. Just have somebody drive you when you're dying. It's not worth it. When the wine mom left, like, doesn't wake up because Biden sucks, but continues to make excuses for Biden, like they're doing right now, by the way. Yesterday's military action in Syria was a defensive strike. A defensive strike in Syria, a country we invaded, against Syria, a country we invaded, in Iraq, a country that we also invaded. You can't be defensive. Caitlin, what's her name, that I retweet all the time because she seems like one of the saner people in the world, tweeted that the other night about how, like, you can never claim a defensive action if you're standing on the soil of a country you fucking invaded.
Yeah, let me find it. Caitlin Johnstone.
Yeah.
You know what else is weird?
What?
They stopped covering Biden's press meetings. Like, they're not streaming them live on CNN like they were Trump's press briefings.
That's because they have nothing to say.
Yeah.
It's because they don't want to hear people hear directly from the president's fucking communicator that they're not getting anything. It's just fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know. I will tell you this, though. 4 years from now, when they're having to make this argument to vote for Biden yet again, the cachet of people like Vosh, who took this riding with Biden position and bought Biden hats and made Biden memes and blah, 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 and ignored all the failures and shit, they're gonna have a harder time finding an audience for that shit the more times they do it. And I guarantee you, when it flips back to the fucking Republican side, people that were talking about how we needed to elect Biden to prevent that are going to go find something else to watch. The good thing about being consistent in your positions is that people don't find reasons to hate you outside of just hating you off the bat. So I got to put myself out there, and you either agree with me or you think I'm a fucking tool. I'm not giving you some kind of two-faced position. I back my position, and it's been the same for fucking ever. I think a right-wing incumbent could win in 4 years, yes, especially if the Biden administration's first month is any indicator of what its next fucking, 36 months is going to be like.
I mean, what do you mean by incumbent? Do you mean Trump?
I mean, Trump could beat him. I think Pence could beat him. I think it's feasible that the Democrats lose in the midterms because of this shit. I don't even think we'll have to wait till 2024 to see a referendum on this failure. I think next year, or basically next year is when we're going to see the first referendum on the failure that is the Biden administration. I have a feeling the Republicans are going to very, very significantly make gains in the House, possibly even take it back. And we're going to give back all the ground that we supposedly gained by electing all these progressive politicians that sat on their hands and did nothing. Watched it all float by with barely a whimper. This is how you lose elections. This is why the fucking Democratic Party isn't a leftist party. They tee up the fucking golf ball for the Republicans, and the Republicans come in with the club and swing it.
It's like, how long has it been with no checks?
It's ridiculous. Well, instead of those checks going right out the door first thing, which there's this actually really hilarious cut of Biden doing his whistle stop tour right before the election, saying it about 50 million times in about 50 million states. Also, all these other progressives saying it, including the ones that everybody worked so hard to elect to flip fucking Georgia. Fucking Raphael Warnock. Those checks are going right out the door. Those $2,000 checks are going right out the door. Well, here it is a month later, and not only are those $2,000 checks not out the door, but they've been reduced to $1,400 checks and are kind of a when we get to it, maybe kind of thing. Yeah.
But he's got to do a State of the Union first, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, State of the Union strong. No, it isn't. Shit's falling apart. People's lives are falling apart. State of the Union is strong. I'm proud to say State of the Union is strong. It's like such a self-stroke. State of the Union address. Get the fuck out of here. Pomp and circumstance. How about you get a homeless person and let them do a State of the Union address this year? How about that, Biden? That sounds good to me. How about instead of hearing from the president, we hear from somebody on the lower strata of humanity for the State of the Union address, and let's see how the State of the Union really is. Not for some rich, out of touch fucking political huckster, but for somebody that's actually out there on the fucking grind. How about that? We have somebody fucking off the streets come in and address Congress and tell them what it's like to live there. A people's State of the Union. Not a fucking...
That froze to death in fucking Texas.
Yep. How about this? How about this year for the State of the Union address, we make a collage of the pictures of all of the 500,000 people that have needlessly died of COVID-19 in this country. And then we have a homeless person come and give the speech about what it's been like to live in America for the last year and what the state of the fucking union is. How about that? That sounds like a good fucking plan to me. Use that collage as a backdrop for the State of the Union instead of that big fucking gaudy, dais with all these fucking old vampires on it. Cover them all up with a giant collage of the 500,000 COVID dead. and then have just a parade of people that have lost their businesses, lost their jobs, living on the street, walk in and let's hear what the state of the fucking union is. How about this? How about this? How about we get a translator, and for the State of the Union this year, we march in every one of the 700 children that Biden decided he was going to throw back in a cage. We ask them what they think the State of the Union is. Man, this could be a fucking banger of a State of the Union if they listen to me. Let's pick somebody that's been jobless all year. Let's pick somebody that lost their small business this year. Let's pick somebody that had a home at the start of 2020 and is now homeless. And let's get, a good selection of the kids from the fucking COVID facility. Let's get a family that was broken up by ICE. Let's just get some average fucking folks in there and let them come in, and each one of them gets 15 minutes to talk about what it's been like to live in this fucking country for the last year. There's your State of the Union address. You think I want to sit and listen to fucking Biden stroke his dick about how everything's great for him and his buddies? No. I want you to put that in your mind. Biden is going to stand up in front of this country and say the words, "I'm happy to say that the State of the Union is strong," while people are fucking waiting in line for 17 miles in Houston for free food, while the entire state of Texas is frozen over and nobody does anything, while 500,000 people are dead in the ground that would have been alive otherwise because of inaction of the government, while untold numbers of people have lost their jobs, livelihoods, and homes. He's going to stand up in front of the country and say that the state of this fucking union is strong. Think about that. Let that bake your noodle for a minute. Let that one fucking sink in. Healing the soul of our nation takes more than a month. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Doesn't take more than a month to start throwing bombs again, though.
Nope. Got those fucking Raytheon checks cut real quick. You think that didn't have anything to do with the fucking bombs that were dropped yesterday? The targeted airstrikes? Planning that shit before it was unleashed. Didn't talk to Congress about it. Just launch them. Launch them. I remember one of my liberal friends saying there's no need to rock the boat when you have a competent captain, when I asked why no one was shouting for change now that Biden was in office. Yeah, oh no, I know. It's brunch. You remember the brunch meme? It's brunch. It's that wasn't a meme. That was I mean, it was a meme, but it was one of the very many memes that reflect the truth. This is what the left does. The left elects a center-right corporatist and then goes back to sleep for 4 years. And then wakes up with their hair on fire, all ready to vote for the next center-right corporatist. The left is dead in America, if you think of the left as being overseen by the DNC, which is why I advocate almost every fucking day for people who consider themselves leftists to hit eject from this cyclical nonsense and to start pouring their passion, money, and fucking will into something that could possibly help us. Because the bankers aren't going to do it. The warmongers aren't going to do it. The guy that's got buddies in Raytheon, he's not going to do it. The guy that's got buddies that own fucking massive shares in defense companies and drug companies are not going to do it. Period. We can't give you them $2,000 checks, Jack, because we got to get the bombs, Jack. Yep. $250 million for bombs? Psh, give me my pen. $1 billion to fucking save this country? Nah. Eh. Nah. What are my thoughts on Marxism, Leninism? I don't really have many, to be honest with you. I'm an advocate for a new way. I don't think that the answer to our problems in the current day lie in theory that has preceded us by 200 years. Like, I don't see it that way. So I try and advocate for new ideas, new thinking, or at the very least, something that has a little bit of proven workability here in the United States, which is why I'm a labor advocate. Do you think the answer to real change is going to be colonizing another planet? We're never going to colonize another planet, bro. We will never colonize another planet. Just the task of getting a group of human beings from Earth to the next closest planet that we could land on is a Herculean effort that would take years of flight. And you're talking about colonizing a fucking planet? Like, nope. Dude, that's so far in the goddamn future, there's no way we're making it there. There's no if we colonize another planet, dude. You may as well not even fucking think about it right now. It ain't happening. You may as well think of it as something that's not happening. The Dems will end up wasting a rare chance to pass a $15 minimum wage and student debt forgiveness during a budget reconciliation where they don't need Republicans in the Senate. Yep. Well, Paul, do you believe in a government that represents workers' interests? If so, then you're a Marxist, Leninist. Got it. Okay. Well, you can label me that if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and continue labeling myself as I see fit, if that's okay with you. We need a world like Elite Dangerous, where entire star systems are one specific ideology. No, we don't. That sounds like horrifying. A theory which incentivizes people to continue supporting this system is useless, enough said. Yeah. It would take an insurmountable amount of time, money, and resources to keep even close to the first step. Yep. Hope a bunch of aliens turn up and fix everything. Hey, that's a better hope than fucking voting for Joe Biden and hoping for change. I'm dead ass fucking serious. Dude, if your political ideology was, man, I hope aliens show up and fix everything, I would literally respect you more than somebody that would advocate for continued participation in the current system as it stands. Or pushing the Democratic Party left, or changing the Democratic Party fundamentally from a corporate money funnel. I literally respect that political position more. No joke. No fucking joke. Why do I respect it more? Because I think it has a better chance of happening. I think there's a greater chance that tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and there's going to be this distant thrumming sound that I can't put my finger on, and then I'm going to walk out here and I'm going to start a fire because it's cold, and then I'm going to look at the sky for the first time and it's going to be filled with this giant alien spaceship. They're going to be beaming down fucking help. The way to push it left is by forming a third party and stealing a significant number of votes from the Democratic Party. Yes. Thus undermining the Democratic Party. Sorry, I was right the first time. I shouldn't have corrected myself. The Democratic Party. Undermining the Democratic Party to the point where it never wins again. See, that's the way that you get your way. That's the way you establish a third party. That's what no leftist is willing to admit is the best course of action for us. They think we should keep voting for the Corp Dem inside of the Democratic Party rather than giving a couple of cycles to the fucking Republicans to put a dagger in the heart of the DNC and establish something new. And as long as libs and their allies and people that don't know their libs are out there fucking advocating for, well, let's go vote for Biden, they're not willing to drop one to the fucking Republicans or two or three in order to put a stake through this fucking vampire's heart and start something new, then fuck them. Who needs them? Let them line up and continue voting for the fucking corporatist, and we'll see how that works out for them. In a perfect world, everyone under one government speaking only a handful of languages and seeks progress as a priority. Well, I mean, maybe that's your perfect world. In my perfect world, there's infinite drugs, infinite pleasure, and infinite pizza. That's my fucking perfect world. Fuck the one world government shit. Fuck progress. Give me pizza. Imagine voting for the Democratic Party without first extracting concessions from them. That was another thing that drove me fucking nuts. Like, you have no fucking clue how much pushback I got from people because I started shit talking Biden before the election. They're like, wait, we got to sew it up first. And I'm like, wait. No. This is the time you get concessions. This is the time you poll against Biden so that he goes like, fuck, I'm gonna drop this election to Donald Trump if I don't stack my cabinet with progressives. Fuck, I'm gonna drop this election to Donald Trump if I don't give some fucking concessions to the progressive left. Fuck. That was the time to do it. Instead, everybody was sucking his old wrinkly cock and hiding his old wrinkly rapes. Or pretending that it didn't matter that he participated in a fucking rape. At least one. Everyone was mad at you for saying Bernie wouldn't be a Democratic superstar, too. I know. Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's like, if you go back and track my fucking positions, I've been correct for about 5 or 6 years straight. And I've just been absolutely reviled for it. It's like, what a fucking counterintuitive world we're living in. Like, I may not have been correct about every fucking thing, but it's pretty fucking, like, crazy the amount of shit that I've called. From Joe Biden being the nominee when nobody thought he was going to get it. As soon as I saw that he was in the running back when there was like 24 Democrats in the field, I was like, it's going to be Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not going to do any of these things that he promised. You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. Fucking first month. No $15 minimum wage. No student debt forgiveness. Bombing fucking Syria. And kids back in cages. You know what I mean? It's just it's just a nightmare. See, Bernie didn't want to run as an independent because what I was talking about would have happened. He would have split the Democratic vote and the Republican would have won by default. The problem is that you do that enough cycles in a row and guess what happens? People notice what's going on and they start getting on the side of the fucking party that looks like they can win and looks like fucking actually represents them. which of course would be whatever this new Labor Party that we establish is. So you got to be willing to drop a couple of fucking electoral cycles to the Republicans to get rid of this Democrat problem. Because let me tell you something, I've said this like 3 fucking streams in a row, and I'm just going to keep saying it. The Democratic Party cannot be reformed. The Democratic Party will not be pushed left. The Democratic Party is an arm of corporate interest, and that is it. And that is what it will remain. And if you think any kind of leftist or progressive or Marxist or Leninist fucking movement is going to be born from voting for and participating in liberal leftist politics as they exist in America today with electoral participation, you're a fucking fool. Period. And it's time to wake up and knock knock. Who says the more leftward people don't just move back to the Democrats when the Republicans keep winning? That's why it's incumbent upon this third party to have the rhetoric game locked down and to prove that they're willing to actually do the things that they say that they're going to do rather than just lie. We've reached a point now in this country where we accept lies from our politicians, not mistruths, not broken promises. Call a spade here. It's a lie. So they go out in front of the American people and they lie about what they're going to do if you vote for them. And then once they get into office, they immediately fucking rescind everything that they promised to do and start passing out fat checks to their big rich friends. Problem is, Republicans will push for more voter suppression the longer they're in power. We can't afford to let them hold power. You can't afford to let them hold power, then stop voting for them. I didn't vote for them. Yes, you did. If you voted for Joe Biden, you voted for the Republicans. Joe Biden is a fucking Republican. He's a Reagan Republican. Period. About as blue dog as a Democrat gets. Guy's a segregationist, for fuck's sake. You're voting for a Republican. Knock, knock. Do you think Bernie should have at least done what Trump did and act like he would run third party if he lost? When Trump did that, I think it really forced the Republican to side with Trump. It definitely would have given Bernie a little bit of leverage in a situation, but he didn't seem to want leverage. Bernie, twice in a row, took his donations, mostly out of the pockets of college kids and poor people who believed in him, $5 at a time, and handed what was left of it to the DNC to support Hillary Clinton and then to support Joseph Biden. Okay? Bernie was weak. And when I called Bernie weak, when he bent the knee to fucking Hillary at the Democratic National Convention, I was fucking vilified. And when I said Bernie will do it again, I was fucking vilified. So this is how I know that I'm on the right track. It's kind of sad that it has to be this way in America, but if you're being vilified, you're probably on to something. I'm not surprised that he did. I'm disappointed that he did it without any concessions and that he took the abuse from the party like he did after 2016, despite helping them so much. Yeah. That was a satisfying drink. Here to fire. Thar she burns. What's in the cup? Water. Bernie had such a terrible game plan in 2020. He thought he could play the role of the nice old man who's everybody's friend and win. It was just bad from the fucking jump, I agree. Yep. Bernie's run this year was fucking dead on arrival for sure. Biden is a good man. Joey, oh man, finally I can sleep at night again. Now that a good man is the president again. Oh, a good man, yes. You think they're going to arrest Alex Jones on the two and the two other guys for their roles on the 6th? I'd love to see Alex Jones in front of Congress on the witness stand. I don't know. I really don't doubt that capitalists would rather kill people en masse than lose their endless wealth. Well, you shouldn't doubt that. Bernie threw Nina Turner under the bus, too. Yes, he did. Nina Turner started speaking some truth about Joe Biden being a fucking vampire corporatist, vulture capitalist piece of fucking goddamn segregationist shit. And Bernie was like, that was a little too far. It's like, fuck you, Bernie. Fuck you and your goddamn fucking woolen mittens. Lesser of two evils is what it was about. Yeah, I know. That's what it's always about. You ever stop to think about, like, if evil does exist, which I don't agree that it does, but if evil does exist, that there really is no lesser evil? That evil is just evil by degrees? And that what you perceive as evil here might be a great evil meted upon someone else? And what you perceive as not evil here might also be a great evil meted upon someone else? That's Chomsky's job. Chomsky's job is to be quoted because he's a harm reductionist or a lesser of two evils voter. His job is to be quoted once every 4 years by liberals to justify voting for a fascist. And then they promptly ignore everything else that he has to say about American empire and the problems of American hegemony in the world. They promptly ignore everything that Noam Chomsky has to say, except for the fact that he happens to be locked in lesser of two evils voter. Interesting. Very interesting. Wonder why that would be. You mean like most people in the Middle East thinking that bombing civilians is bad, but Americans thinking it's amazing and a needed thing? Yeah. Or like most Americans thinking that because things got marginally better here in the United States, that a president is, quote unquote, the lesser evil, ignoring the fact that the rest of the world exists and suffers under that president. Joe Biden is going to exploit the fuck out of the third world, and he's going to oversee it happening. Nobody wants to pay attention to that, though, when they're talking lesser evilism, because I guess it only, like, we're the only fucking place that matters here. Things might get marginally better for a couple of people in America, so Joe Biden better. End of discussion. Dust my fucking hands off. Never mind the fact that he's going to fucking ream Syria. Never mind that. Never mind the fact that he's, saber rattling against Iran now. Refused to re-enter the fucking nuclear deal that he helped to broker with Iran so that he could beat the war drum with them. This just... Be fucking honest here. Yeah. It's going to be phrased as him fixing relations around the world and making America seen as a greater good after the Trump administration, right? Have you seen the golden Trump statue at CPAC? No. Throwing rocks at squirrels and laughing when they die isn't evil if no one teaches you to think that way. What? Meanwhile, all he's really done is made sure that we can exploit people way better. Isn't it funny how that works? Isn't it funny how that works? Whatever, guys. Right? Fuck it, right? Am I right? Fuck it. Let's play some Apex Legends, y'all. Let's suit up. I'm ready to drop in. Biden is considered a pro-union guy. Meanwhile, he's silent about the Amazon unionization because that's just a fucking... That's like a sticker on the side of a fucking NASCAR thing. It's just one of the things that's used to sell him because he likes to pretend he's this blue-collar Scranton guy. If he ever was that, it was fucking 100 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. The dude is a fucking complete and utter austerity-loving, corporate, fucking warmongering douche. Joe Biden has never met a war he didn't like. Joe Biden has never met a piece of austerity legislation that he didn't like. Joe Biden hates the idea of socialized health care. Joe Biden hates the idea of a socialized safety net in this country. Joe Biden hates the idea of rich people having to pay their fair share. Joe Biden is not a unionist. You cannot hold those positions and simultaneously be pro-union. They're contradictory positions. You're either pro-union or you're pro-corporate. You're either pro-union or you're pro-military hegemony. You're either pro-union or you're pro-fucking kids in cages. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to be a union guy from Scranton and a corporate guy from K Street stuffed into the same suit. It doesn't work that way. So anybody that tells you that Biden is a union advocate or that unions are going to do better under Biden, tell them to stuff it up their fucking ass. What's your favorite looming crisis that no politician ever seems to mention? Mine is overpopulation. Mine is the upcoming catastrophic economic bubble that's going to explode because it's based on stock buybacks and an ocean of debt and an ocean of unpayable fucking mortgages that are about to come due, and nobody's going to fucking be able to pay them anymore because nobody has jobs anymore. Yeah, the giant fucking bubble that's about to pop in the global economy at a time when we're already weakened by it is going to be fucking insane. The casino that the fucking stock market has become is only proof of it. The stock market has become increasingly volatile and increasingly prone to fucking huge spikes and drops over the last 2 to 3 years. It's 2008 times 2, and it's coming. That's my favorite. Every one of these motherfuckers knows it's coming too. And they're all going to pretend like it came out of nowhere. Watch. When it happens, your politicians are going to pretend like, oh, you know, an event like this happens once a century. You know, and it's impossible to predict this. You know, we just have to come together as Americans and give trillions of dollars to financial institutions to keep them afloat. I really don't know any other way, you know. The stock market was always a casino. Yeah, you're right. But it was a regulated casino, like a Nevada casino, where you can't pull your dick out. You can't bring 2 6 guns in. You don't get to draw down on the dealer if you think he fucking short-carded you, etc. Now it's just a fucking Wild West saloon casino. You know what it is, honestly? I just thought of this movie for some reason. It popped into my head, and then I started thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is like that. You guys seen the movie Maverick? Now, I know it's a remake. I'm talking about the one with Mel Gibson in it. And it ends with this rich person's poker game on a boat where there's basically no fucking rules. And the person that is supposed to be regulating this to make sure it's safe for everybody ends up ripping it off. It's like, I was like, wow, that scene from Maverick is basically the fucking global economy now. Just a bunch of rich fucks all piling their money up on the table, and then one of them steals it all. And it all goes to shit. Yep, a literal Monopoly game where you don't even get to play. Like, it's your job to feed, clothe, and take care of the needs of the very important billionaires that get to play the Monopoly game. And they get to decide how much of the bank they divvy up between themselves and which properties that they share and own and how much they charge you if you land on the square. Yeah, if you try and play the game, every move is go to jail. do not pass go, and definitely do not collect your $2,000. Serious question from the UK here. Is your bombing of Syria illegal under international law? Yes. And it's also technically illegal under United States law, although we have justified it over the last 3 or 4 presidencies with a massive transfer of power to the executive by allowing the executive to engage in what they call limited military action, which really isn't limited at all. Basically allows the presidency to go to war without the consent of the Congress. And so that is what's going on. So it's technically illegal according to our laws, and it's definitely illegal according to international law. It's an unsanctioned, unprovoked act of military violence against a sovereign nation. So, yes, it's against international law. Because when the president does it, it's not illegal. Richard Nixon. Revealing the hypocrisy of American foreign policy and domestic policy in one moment of blind, angry truth. When the president does it, it's not illegal. Do you think this country will ever undo the Patriot Act, let alone the damage Trump has done? Never. Never. Paul, have you ever played Metal Gear? Nope. I'll just stop reading that. Yeah, but Paul, it's not illegal because he sets the president. The Eastern world, it is exploding. Rockets are flaring and bullets loading. You're much too young for war, but what's that gun you're toting? And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, that you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. Say you don't believe in war, well then what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River's got bodies floating. Yeah, that's true. At least we've got a future of unremitting horror. and human degradation to look forward to. They can't take that from us, god damn it. Paul, you cannot have a moral compass while believing there is no evil. Get out of here, Christian. I defeated you back in 2007. Go ahead and go back to some of the early videos on this channel to be defeated utterly by me when I was in my 20s, you fucking dolt. Probably the same age as you. Take your religious thought, take it back to the beginnings of this channel and watch about 5 videos and get completely fucking dismantled. You utter fucking moron. Sorry, what? What happened? Yep, objective morality level intellect. Yep. We're dealing with fucking somebody that's got 1 synapse firing here tonight, folks. And it's not me this time. Usually it's me. That's not how evil works, Paul. Evil and religion are not mutually exclusive. Don't let people's opinions upset you so much, bro. Name. Superior heterosexual. Comment. Literal oatmeal-brained fucking nonsense from hell. Ban. Imminent. Vamoose, kid. I wonder who taught him that argument. Some fucking stupid other mush-brained monkey. Some other ape with fucking 1 brain cell firing. Passed it along to him like a stupidity virus, and, well, he's the end result. Another one succumbs to the power of the banhammer. Yep. Another one bites the duster. I wish you'd let those people rattle on more. It's more entertaining that way. You want to fucking get nuked too? I'll let anybody do whatever I want. This is my house. Where you're standing right now is my house. And if you fucking, I swear to God, you chafe me even the least bit, I'm going to beat your ass. Hey, Paul, I'm back. Gets banned before I even read a fucking comment. I love my specters. They're great. You just got to put some people in the corner sometimes, man. Sometimes you've got to put the kids in the corner when they act up, you know? There's lots of houseless people at my park. I catch myself assuming bad things about them with no reason. How do I combat these feelings? I don't know, maybe have a shred of fucking empathy? Thanks for the $5. Next time, go give that $5 to that homeless camp in the park. Let them buy some drugs with it or something.
You can't have a moral compass if you don't believe in my magical fairy beliefs. Evil is different from the fucking very wellspring from which the concept sprung. It's like, what? Evil's different than the religions that defined it and brought it into being as a concept? How so? Riddle me this, Batman. Evil is a scary guy that plants dinosaur bones in the ground to trick people into believing God isn't real. Evil is a scary guy that tries to get you to take drugs or have sex before you get married. And if you don't believe in him, then you can't have a moral compass. No, Piotr was unbanned in the last purge that I did, which was weeks ago. 2-3 weeks ago. So no, I would say that Piotr is not banned. Don't do it to me, Sketch, man. Don't, man. Don't make me think of her. Don't put the Klobuchunt in my head, man. Don't do it. I'd like to see how your hair fares in a blizzard. You know, kids are playing this Pokemon Go game. I'm trying to get you to Pokemon Go to the polls. And that is how we're gonna save this country. Please clap. And that is how we're going to save this country. Please clap. Please clap. Please clap. Please clap. Then we're gonna go to Washington. Then we're gonna go to Jersey. Then we're gonna go to California. Then we're gonna go to Arizona. Then we're gonna go to the White House. Yeah! Poor fucking Howard Dean, man. That was Howard Dean. You wouldn't remember him, unfortunately. Why was that bad? You tell me. Back in the fucking day, that scuttled his whole campaign. His whole ass campaign ended because of that. Thanks for the $5 there, Doll Smick. Doll Smick, dude. If you switch the letters around on that guy's name, it's a small dick. Oh, yeah. That's true. I didn't notice that. Small dick. Yeah. like, like, like if my last name was Smick and my parents named me Doll, I'd probably murder them. Yeah, me too. It's supposed to be windy here tomorrow. Feels like it's kicking up already. I love the sound of the wind through these big old trees here. That sound, in fact, a lot of the sounds that I hear here tonight, the distant frogs singing, the wind through the high branches of these old trees here, and the crackling of my fire. They're all three sounds that I feel like had a special significance to mankind for most of our existence. A significance that maybe a lot of people have lost, but that most people, I believe, can still connect up with. It's like the sounds of the waves crashing against the shore. On a night like this with so much ambient noise to cover it up, I can almost forget that I live in the midst of a giant herpy sore that used to be a big forest. And then a car drives by and reminds me that that is indeed where I live. I wonder how many of our ancestors in prehistory spent time on nights like this, huddled around a fire with this very self-same moon beating down over their heads and the same kind of wind blowing through the tall old trees near them. And I wonder what special significance that had in our development as a species and our empathy for one another. And what the ambient noise, what role it played in that for us. It had to be special to us. Because I can feel it now. More fart of humanity. I'm trying to appreciate nature. Cue the train. Hey, Paul, about to take shroom psilocybin for the first time. What can I expect? Love you. I mean, I don't know, bro. Expect the unexpected. No, I don't know. Don't expect anything. Take it with an open mind and enjoy yourself and be safe. Looking up at the moon. That's got to be something that's so ancient and elemental that it predates even like early hominids and stuff. That's got to go back to our like little rodent like mammal ancestors and everything that came before it. Imagine how many creatures have just been on the ground and looked up at the same fucking moon for millennia. Great Sage Paul, I love how skunks smell, and I love your union rants. I get sprayed, then listen to your streams. I am very stinky. Ooh, I'm very stinky. Paul's ego. Good for you, buddy. Thanks for the $5. Were you scared when you had a career change? I'm considering doing something different career-wise and would be interested in your perspective on it. Yes. Career changes are terrifying, but you got to walk through the fire of fear, man. On the other end is, at the very least, the possibility that you be a happier person as a result. So you got to go for it, man, even if it bites you. Even if it comes back to bite you in the ass, at least you fucking tried. Which is more than most people can say. Go out there and get it. Be afraid. Let that fear drive you. Let it motivate you to succeed in your new position. There's my perspective. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. No journey was ever made without a first step, etc., 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 etc. That's just the way it is. If safety is what you desire in the world, then you will probably never get anything but it. And you'll be lucky if you get it. If security is all you care about, if the sure thing is all you care about in the world, then you are only guaranteed that and not even really guaranteed that anymore. So take a chance on a puppet romance. Some things, they never change. I'm sitting in the back room, semi-conscious from the pain, and it may seem rearranged, but in the backwater swirling, there is something that'll never change.
Being from California, are you familiar with Huell Hauser's California Gold? Yes. Huell was one of my favorite things to watch. They used to do like these like Huell Hauser marathons late at night on PBS sometimes in the Fresno area. And me and my friend Brian would watch him. Yeah. He's a gold mine, man. Most people don't know about him, but he's just like a gold mine of cringe. Like Huell is just he's a fucking California legend for sure. This is that mid Highdeology vibe I love. Yeah. Especially these outside streams, man. I really hope I'm able to find a place that's like enough like this, but not in this fucking area, and settle at it and start building it up for myself. I really want that in my life right now. I've done a lot of traveling, at least within the United States. I've lived in a lot of places. And I really, really feel like the next few years of my life are about finding that spot. I don't know if it'll be the first place I land after this, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, but I want to find that place. You think this is an area you can thrive in, or I will move again? Unfortunately, this is not the area for me. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I've seen enough. There's a couple other places that I feel like, at least one or two other places I feel like I have to check out. I can't settle here. This place here, while parts of it work really well, like in terms of like what kind of plans I have for a little place, parts of it don't work well at all. My allergies here are fucking out of control. So I just have to find another place. Gotta keep looking. I will give you all the drugs if you come to New England. Okay. Well, I mean, I may land somewhere in that area. Who knows? The U.S. has every kind of climate to choose from, pretty much. Yeah, I will tell you this. I really didn't mind living in the desert. I think that finding a little patch of land that is somewhere adjacent to the desert might actually be something that I need to think about. The heat of the desert can be crazy, and the cold of the desert, but the beauty of the desert is something that I really fucking appreciate. And it would be very different from where I grew up. Chugga chugga choo choo. I'm gonna move away from this fire a little bit here. Just give me a sec.
to finagle everything correctly. The smoke is starting to get to my nose. Smokey and the Bandit, yo. All right. Look at that. Some of you stuck around. The fuck did you do that for? Why did you do that? Yeah, I can't see the graffiti at night. Good question. Cookie crisp? No, dude. No weaving my beard. My beard stays pure. It's one of the tenets of the children of the salt. I'm the only one that's allowed to keep a resplendent beard. No beard may rival mine. Only stubble is allowed. So saith the salt lord. Cookie crisp. That's right. Do you like Banksy? I've never met Banksy. Do I like his art? Yeah, I like some of his art stuff. I think some of it's a little pretentious and shit, but I think that maybe that's the point of a lot of the pieces. Yeah, no, I'm all right with Banksy. I can get with Banksy. Banksy is kind of a fake. I think that's kind of the point, though. I don't know. Banksy, you gotta at least have respect for the gray area that Banksy manages to occupy. Paul, is it frustrating when people question your decision to go no contact with your father? I feel like those people have never had to deal with toxic family. I don't know. I mean, not a lot of people really question it, honestly. I think most people kind of understand. Like, at least that's where I really don't talk about my dad a whole ton here, but the few times that I have talked about him, people seem to be supportive, at least in mass, of my decision as an adult to not have him around in my life. Fuck, dude, that person's just gonna kill somebody's kid someday. Had to be doing like fucking 60 miles an hour on this like little residential back street. There's kids that are always riding their bikes around here in this neighborhood and shit. That person just gonna fucking kill somebody's child someday. That's one of the reasons I can't fucking live around here. It's just like this piece of property has so many of the attributes that I want from a piece of property. I'm actually looking for a house that's like this house, that's a fixer-upper. You know what I mean? So that I can do a little bit of improving to it and tack it onto the fucking mortgage payment. I'm also looking for a house that's zoned like this, where it's pre-zoned for 2 buildings so that I can build an outbuilding studio on it. Has all that shit. But it's still a little too close to fucking humanity. I like the train. I'm not moving because of the train, but the train is just one example. That car that just fucking sped by is another. That dude was doing fucking 60 miles an hour right outside of my house in a tiny little fucking barely 2-lane residential fucking street in the dead of night where there are no fucking street lamps. Like, it's still too close to that shit. I'm really looking for something that has an almost private drive. Like, doesn't have to be a big fucking rich palace of a place, but it's just a place where, like, maybe people blow by on the closest road to my fucking drive, but nobody is near my house for any reason unless they're there to do some service or they're somebody that I know. Like, that is what I need. I really feel in my bones that I need to find that. And this ain't it. But this was never meant to be it. I'm not looking for a place that's uninhabited. See, like, that's, that's out of my price range and out of my out of my functionality range. Like I can't live in a place that doesn't have high-speed internet. So I have to live in a place that is at least adjacent to a largish town where I can get, you know, what I need to do for my job, or have a place that is cheap enough and that fits the bill that I can also afford to rent an office in town that I drive into to do my job at. That's also a possibility for me. Like, I am completely and utterly open to renting a place that's cheaper even than this place, and then offsetting that cost by renting myself an office space. It would also be good to have, if the guys ever come visit, a shooting space. And if I had an office space, I could set it up for multi-shoot, you know, and have that ready to go and have it completely separate from my house so there's no distractions and no bullshit. And I would also, I think, you know, I got to be honest with you guys. Pre-COVID, I was really liking, because here I'll have to explain it to you because some of you guys don't know what my living situation has been. So for those that don't know, I moved to Louisiana in 2017. I moved to Louisiana in 2017, and for about the first year and change, I lived with TJ, Chelsea, Scotty, and Taylor, and my ex-girlfriend Ashley, and all of our pets in a big house together. And we did all of our living, and I made my living in that home. So we had a shooting area, a couple of shooting areas actually, in that home. And I made my living on the property. And then I moved. We all moved. TJ got his own pad, and he ended up having the place that had the best candidate for a fucking studio. So the studio ended up being at his house. But what it meant for me is I lived in a slightly different part of town, so it took me about 15, 20 minutes to get from my house to TJ's house. And that meant that I had a place to go for work that wasn't my home, which like felt really good. Like I liked the idea that every day I had to get up, you know, because there's some days where I just don't wanna. And I still have to when I work from home, but having that like kind of removal of home time from work time, I think would be a really fucking good thing for me. Because I find it really hard to do now. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I don't think that's unattainable. I think I can get that. And if I find it and the price is right, you know, I want to move on it. Working, schooling from home, I find, is nearly impossible. Well, it's not. I mean, it's just not ideal. I remember that time, made some good content, but that had to be stifling. I didn't know you guys were shooting at that place. Yes. Oh man, it was crazy. It was just like, but you know what? It was like creative kind of like fervor, because there was a real like, oh shit drive to make something happen. And so, you know, it was a really like weird living arrangement, but also a really good living arrangement creatively, because it was like being, you know, in the stew with the people that I worked with, you know, and it cooked up some crazy ideas that led to what we're doing now. So I give it its props for that. It was an environment that was fruitful in a you know, an artistic sense, but pretty crazy to live in. Pretty nutty to live in. I think everybody by the end of it was just kind of sick of each other. You know, no personal animosity implied.
I think we were all just sick of having everybody be in the place that we wanted to be and having to see everybody every day and having to deal with everybody's shit every day and having to, you know what I mean? Like it wears on you after a while. And it's like, especially if you're working in that environment too, it's like, fuck, I'm already a hermit type of person, but like, fuck, I was never more hermity pre-COVID than I was when I lived in that environment because it was just like work, sleep, eat, shit, fuck, play video games, all in the same place. It's like a factory farm. I was like one of those poor cows that just was having my udders milked over there, milking my udders for all of you. It's like, whatever, man. Whatever. Crazy times, man. A lot of fucking shit has gone down in my life in the last 10 years, guys. And you really start thinking about your life in 10-year blocks when you get to be 40, trust me. You'll see what I mean. The last fucking 10 years of my life have been fucking crazy. Sometimes in really awesome, exuberantly good ways, and sometimes in just like, are you fucking kidding me ways. I don't even know that I could sit down and write the story of the last 10 years of my life and have it be credible. It has just been such a fucking up, down, left, right fucking roller coaster of a life. And I'm so happy that I've gotten the chance to live it up till this point. I like wouldn't have it any other way. It was so messy and fucked up, but you know what, dude? It was so human. It was great. You know, if the next 10 years are even better, even crazier, even more memorable, then I'll be a lucky person indeed. It was fucking insane, but it was okay. You tend to learn a lot about yourself when you exist in that crisis mode, you know? I look good for 40. Dude, I don't look good for fucking 20. I look absurd. What are you talking about? I kind of like it, though. I'm not down on myself. I know which way the wind blows. No, it's been a fucking... What an absurd life I've led, guys. I gotta tell you, man. Feeling very reflective tonight for some reason, but man, the absurdity of this life. Maybe it's the wind bringing out that elemental fucking ancient human instinct to be pensive and self-reflecting at night with the moon overhead. Yeah, it's utterly pointless. I mean, on a galactic scale, it's utterly pointless, but to you, it's everything.
and to the people that are around you, it's a huge part. I've left an indelible mark on so many people as I've passed through this life, and they've left that same mark on me. Not just people that I've been with, like friends that I've had, people that I've worked with. I've just raked my claws across so many people and had myself raked by the claws of so many different people that I'm so thankful for all of that. All the mix-ups and all the crazy fucking bullshit and all the, just all the nonsense that comes with life. I'm so thankful for it all. Well, I guess thankful was not the best word. Who am I thanking for it? Thankful really isn't the word anyway. It's just the word that I chose because I'm struggling to define what the word is. I feel, religion has a lot of words for this feeling. I feel exalted. I feel blessed. None of those quite cut it. I feel fortunate. Maybe that's the word. Fortunate. To have, I don't know, gotten the chance to do this stupid, absurd shit. Grateful? Yeah, but grateful to whom? Like when you're grateful for something, I guess that's not true. You can be grateful for the sunshine and grateful for a cool drink from a stream. So maybe grateful is the word. You're right. I am grateful. For the strange life that I've been allowed to lead. A pretty funny life, to be honest with you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Thank you guys for chilling. Have a good evening. See you next time. Bye.